Namaste. This is how Indians greet each other on every occasion, whether morning, whether evening, whether there is a young person, whether there is a grown-up person. Will you say Namaste with me? Namaste. Namaste. Basically, Namaste means I bow to thee, I respect you. The other Indian custom is to light a lamp, because fire is a symbol of God, symbol of sun. Fire represents purity. Fire is a messenger between heaven and earth. Fire is sacred for Indians. And at every occasion, be it birth, be it adolescence, be it marriage, be it death, at all stages of life, lamp lighting and fire is very important to Indians. Let us start with the ceremonial lighting of the lamp. This is a ceremonial lamp, although it can be of any kind. Now that we have made the auspicious beginning, let us proceed. First of all, I would like to thank the Asan Institute and EBS for affording me this opportunity. I would like to welcome all of you. Today, I'll attempt to give you a perspective on India, her people, land, culture, and outlook. I've been in Korea for 3 years and in East Asia for a much longer period. I've been in Japan, I've been in China, I've been in Russia, etc. But I admire Korea. I admire the energy of the people, the friendly people, the rapid development that has taken place in Korea. In fact, Korea's rag to riches story is the greatest development story in the 20th century. And when I look at it, I ask myself what are the reasons for that. I think the reasons are leadership, education, and diligence. And I'm very fortunate that I get lots of opportunities to interact with the Korean youth at schools and universities, and I generally ask them to give me 10 words that describe India. Here it goes. This is how I see Koreans or young Koreans viewing India. These are the 10 words that they typically give. Ancient and exotic, Bollywood, Buddha, caste, chicken curry and naan bread, diversity, Gandhi, Mahatma Gandhi, information technology or IT, Taj Mahal, and of course yoga. I don't know whether you agree to that, but that is what has been the consensus I have found amongst Korean youth. Well, when I talk of scholars like you, and some of the scholars are present here, they know more about India than I do. But this talk is basically pitched to my young audience, and I thought that I'll take up from where my young colleagues have, or what my young colleagues have been pointing out. Now, first point, bullet point is ancient and exotic. India is one of the oldest civilizations in the world. It is also called the land of the gods. India is known for its spiritualism, vivid colors, sparkling festivals, and friendly people. ancient monuments, architecture. If I were to elaborate, the tradition of performing arts in India again goes back 5,000 years. We have at least 12 distinct classical dance styles. Most of the dances originated either in the temples or in the courts. But India is a very large country, a very diverse country with different ethnicities, and practically every region of India has different folk dances, again very colorful, vibrant. Many dances are associated with harvest, which is true for many other countries in the world. India, as I said, is also known as the land of gods or the land of festivals. There is practically no day where in one part or the other in India we do not see one festival or the other. But these are two of the most colorful festivals, which are very popular festivals. The one to the left is the festival of lights, or Diwali, which symbolizes victory of truth over evil, victory of good over evil, and the entire country at that time rose in celebration, and that's called Diwali. Festival of Colors is a unique festival where, regardless of whether you know a person, do not know a person, age, gender, you throw colors at each other. It's a festival of friendship. It's a festival of leaving behind differences and crafting new friendships, renewing or strengthening friendships. Well, when you talk of exotic India, I think nothing is complete without a mention of traditional Indian weddings, which are very elaborate, very colorful, ritualistic. Here, traditionally, the bride and the bridegroom will go around the fire, and once they do complete that process, they are pronounced man and wife. And I'm sure my friends in Korea know about henna. I believe that henna, or the plant of henna, originated in Egypt long ago. And according to history, it was used on mummies. But then it was imported in India, and India took it as a decorative art, made it very intricate and almost a daily part of the life of Indian women and also men. Well, talking of weddings, there is something that I have to mention, and that is the first international wedding in the world. I don't know how many of you know about the first international wedding. The hint is that it had something to do with Korea, and the other person involved was an Indian. According to scriptures, according to belief, 2000 years ago, an Indian princess, Suri Ratna, had a divine dream, and she traveled to Korea, took 3 months to travel to Korea, came to Korea and married Kim Suro and became Queen Her. And I am told that 5 million Koreans at least trace their ancestry to the royal couple. And this is the tomb of memorial tomb of Queen Her. So I always feel very happy that I am in the land of my cousins. And we are now trying to have a co-production, a film produced, a commercial film as a co-production between Korea and India on this great story of love between an Indian princess and Korean king. All right, moving on. Second point that often the Korean youth tell me is Bollywood. And I don't know whether you know that Bollywood is more than 100 years old. Or Indian cinema is more than 100 years old. The first movie, Raja Harishchandra, King Harishchandra, was made in 1913, and that was a silent film. Today, India has become the largest producer of films in the world. We are producing something like 1200 movies every year, and it is the biggest source of entertainment for the masses. I'm told that a successful feature film in India is seen by 200 million people. 200 million people. A popular film can be seen by 500 million people, not just in India, but the world over. And the popularity of Indian cinema and the film stars today has spread across the globe. including in Korea, I find that some of the Indian movies, okay, this is the very popular Bollywood dances, colorful, vibrant, joyous. But a movie like Three Idiots, I usually do a straw poll when I go to Korean universities and schools, ask how many people have seen Three Idiots, and invariably hands go up. So, and many of the Indian movies are slowly gaining popularity in Korea, and I really hope that we can bring, we by the way have started doing 10 film festivals all across, small, medium, large, all across Korea every year. And we bring a bouquet of films, subtitle them and show them free to the Korean audience. The third point, or the description of India or association of India, is with Lord Buddha. India, as you know, is the land of Buddha. Buddha is known as the awakened one. He attained enlightenment after a rigorous penance for 49 days under the Mahabodhi tree some 2500 years ago. The exact date or time frame when Buddha attained enlightenment is still not known. It's a matter of speculation, but broadly it is believed that he was just 35 about 2500 years ago when he attained enlightenment. Gradually Buddhism spread all over Asia, came to Korea also. In fact, when the Indian princess came from Ayodhya, she brought some relics of Buddha, which are still there in Gimhe. India, I'm often asked, why are there not too many Buddhists in India? Now, there is a reason for that. India Buddha has Hinduism. 80% of Indians are Hindus. Hinduism is like a mother religion. It's like a way of life. And we consider Buddhism to be an offshoot of Hinduism. Jainism to be an offshoot of Hinduism. Sikhism as an offshoot of Hinduism. And I'm a Buddhist. Every Hindu is a Buddhist and vice versa as we see it. Also, Indians are quite religious people. When we talk of religion, I would like to mention here that Indians believe in one God. They believe in karma, which is deeds. If you do good, you find good. If you do bad, you find bad. There is a cause and effect. And also, Indians believe in reincarnation. This is something I'm very proud of. As I mentioned, that Buddha attained enlightenment under the Mahabodhi tree. When President Park Geun-hye went to India in January this year as a gesture of friendship and goodwill for the great people of Korea, Prime Minister offered a sapling of the sacred Bodhi tree to President Park to be brought to Korea. This was brought to Korea. By the way, Korea is the only third country in India's history to whom we have presented a sapling of the sacred Bodhi tree. It came in March. It was just about 30 centimeters. In October, it became 135 centimeters. And we are now in the process, along with the Blue House and MOFA Foreign Office, we are trying to locate a temple where it will be placed and will become a permanent home for Buddhists, not just in Korea, but in East Asia, to go for pilgrimage. India is home to practically every religion of the world. As I said, 80% of Indians are Hindus. We have a large Muslim population, Christian population, Sikhs, and the others. In fact, many religions originated in India, including Hinduism, Buddhism, Jainism, Sikhism, and we have some of the world famous religious sites in India. More about that later. Point 4 is the caste system. I am generally asked by my Korean friends is why does India have caste? Now, let me spend a bit of time to talk about the origin of caste system. It goes back thousands of years in India. It started off, according to what I have read, in a very benign fashion. Idea was that if there was a priest, his son or daughter could be a priest. It was a kind of a specialization, if you put it in today's modern context. If there was a warrior, his son could be a warrior. If he was a trader, his son could be a trader. And there was no rigidity initially. One could move across a different castes. But like all things, even starting with good intentions, soon the caste barriers became rigid. And it got perpetuated. The economically weaker section of the society continued to be weaker. The well-off sections of the society, and caste was not just in India, it was in many other countries, in some forms, even in Korea during the Joseon dynasty. But Korea did a wonderful job in getting rid of the social evil. I'm happy to say that the Constitution of India, as soon as India became independent and we adopted the Constitution of India guarantees equality amongst all the citizens, and practice of caste is illegal. It's punishable. Commendable process has been made in India since 1947 to dismantle the caste barriers. In the urban areas, in the cities, the caste consciousness is, I would not say disappeared, but it has come down admirably. At the workplace, we don't see any difference. We don't even realize any difference. But in the villages, in the rural areas, there is still a caste consciousness. As I said, we regard it as a social evil. We are determined to uproot it. There's a legal framework meant to uproot it. But India is a very large country, and I think it will take time, but we are on the right path. Well, something that I love, chicken curry and naan bread. I'm told that Koreans love Indian food. According to last count, there are more than 40 Indian restaurants in Seoul, and when I go to them, I find them quite packed. There is a mind-boggling variety of Indian cuisine, for the simple reason that cuisine is basically a reflection of the culture of the people. And Indian history goes back 5,000 years. India has been a melting pot. People from all parts of the world have come to India over the centuries and centenaries. They came as invaders, they brought their culture. Some plundered and went back, some settled down. They took a bit of Indian cuisine, they gave, so it is and it is so distinct that you cannot recognize whether you're having the same cuisine if you have Indian, South Indian and North Indian cuisine. And when I ask my wife, how does she produce such good food? She says spices. So the magic of Indian food, my wife says, and she is the best cook in the world as far as I'm concerned, that it's the magic of spices. Well, this is just a sampling of how the Indian cuisine could look like. I do believe that it's a treat to all senses. I would strongly encourage those friends who have not tried Indian cuisine to try it. There are good restaurants. I cannot recommend any because I'll get into trouble, but do try. For the sheer variety that it offers, whether it's vegetarian or non-vegetarian. I know Koreans don't like desserts, but believe me, Indian desserts, some of them are reasonably good, though sweet. India is great for the street food, very simple, very cheap, very delicious. I don't know how very healthy, but delicious, all right. Okay, moving on. India is nothing if not diverse. There is breathtaking diversity in India. Geographical, climatic, ethnic, cultural, linguistic. I don't think that I've traveled all over. I've traveled to at least 100 countries in the world. Some countries are very diverse. But I don't think I've seen any country which is as diverse as India. So we rejoice in our diversity. And we salute our diversity, we accentuate our diversity, because diversity is like a rainbow. The different colors, different hues of a rainbow make it as pretty. And diversity is like a garden of flowers. The more the colors, the better. And India's motto is unity in diversity, and I'm very happy to say that as years are progressing, passing, decades are passing, India is becoming, the Indian identity is becoming much stronger. India is a study in contrast. Somebody said that centuries coexist in India. Even today, you have primitive tribes in India with very little contact with the outside world, and you have the most brilliant space scientists. India has some of the coldest places in the world and the hottest places in the world. And what I'm very proud to mention is that India has at least 398 known distinct languages, and 22 languages are official languages. Well, this is just to show how diverse India is. They are all Indians. I have my colleague who is from the northeastern India, and when we goes for meetings along with me, at times he stopped and they tell him, no, this is, somebody from Korea cannot go in. And he says, no, I'm not Korean, I'm an Indian. I mean, that's the diversity of India. They look like, but again, the geographical diversity. This is the Thar Desert, which is a very hot part of, I come from the desert country, and some of the coldest places in the world, some of the best beaches, that is India. Now, talking of diversity, I'm told, I cannot prove it, but I'm told that even a potato we can cook in 300 ways. Can there be anything more diverse than that? And this is the Indian currency note. And if you see, there's a description in 17 languages on the Indian currency note. In the Parliament of India, you can speak in any of the 22 official languages. So that is the kind of vibrant diversity. Well, I have never been able to get over this picture. Again, this shows what India is, where you have the entire spectrum of humanity. And look at that. You can see these sites only in India. Again, India never amazes to surprise you. And this is something that I'm very proud to say, that there's a communications revolution that has happened in India. Today we have 1 billion mobile phones. We are adding 8 to 9 million mobile phones a month. Even the poorest has a mobile phone, and therefore the communications in India is growing very rapidly.